In this video, I'm going to show you how to get one of the most important skills to become a top 1% media buyer. When you get started running ads online, you are instantly jumping into the arena of some of the best marketers in the world. And so you have to have the right tools and skills in order to be successful. After managing millions of dollars in ad spend and training a bunch of media buyers in my agency, I can tell you there is one skill that separates average media buyers from the best. And this skill will make or break media buyers at the top level. That skill is what I call the zoom in, zoom out mentality. So what is the zoom in, zoom out mentality? Media buyers need to have the ability to look at the really big picture and think about the strategy, what's going on with the offer, with the business, how does the messaging fit into everything that's going on with the sales process, as well as zoom in and get into the details about what is our manual bidding strategy on a Tuesday at 5 o'clock and how many ads do we need to have in an ad set, and all of these little details that go on inside of a campaign. From experience, I have seen a lot of media buyers are usually naturally inclined to do one or the other. The problem is if you're doing a bunch of zoom in kind of work and you're getting obsessed about whether or not you need to have an ad set turned on or off, or you need to have 3 or 5 ads in an ad set, then you're gonna be really in the details, and essentially what you will become is a button pusher. You will be the person who is in charge of pushing buttons inside of an account, and the problem is that is the easiest job to replace. On the other side of that, some media buyers are just naturally very big picture people. So they wanna talk about the strategy, they wanna talk about what's going on with the messaging, and what they end up losing is what's going on with the details inside of the account. The challenge there is what will oftentimes happen is you will have a bunch of inefficiencies inside of account because they're not spending time reviewing all the different campaigns that are running or looking at the different audiences or looking at what ads are working best, and they get really too big picture and they're not thinking about the details of what's happening inside the account. And if you are a media buyer who someone else can do better than you, you will eventually get replaced as well. And so that's where we get into this zoom in, zoom out mentality that I teach all of my media buyers, because we need people who can simultaneously zoom out and look at the really big picture about what is the strategy that we're using and what are the big picture ideas that we're using to move this client's goals forward. While at the same time, we need to have people who can zoom in and look at what are the details about like the bidding strategies and the campaign structure and everything that we've got going on inside of the account. So the way that you can build this skill is with top-down thinking. What that means is when we start getting into an account, first thing we want to do is look at big picture stuff. So like one, overall, is the account hitting the goals that we want? Because if it is, that tells us what direction we need to go next. If we are hitting all the KPIs inside of an account, we can start looking at growth strategies versus looking at different things we need to do to optimize if we weren't hitting our KPIs. Then from there, you can start going through the account and looking at the different levels of traffic. So you can start by looking at what are all our cold traffic campaigns? How are those performing? Then looking at our warm traffic campaigns. How are those performing? Then looking at our bottom of the funnel campaigns and how are those performing? What this will allow you to do is make sure you're looking at each level of traffic and evaluating it based on what you would expect that traffic to be doing. A lot of times we don't expect our cold traffic to hit the same numbers as our warm traffic, so you can look at those differently. The other thing is it'll make sure that you're not missing anything, because I've definitely met many media buyers who will obsess about 1 or 2 campaigns that they set up and forget about some other ones that they've got running. And that is a huge mistake to make as a media buyer. Then once you've evaluated the different levels of traffic and the levels of campaigns you've got running between like your cold and warm traffic, then you can start really digging into the details about what's going on with the ad sets or the ad groups and the ads that you're running inside of these campaigns. Now, usually what we see for a lot of our clients who are typically like in the info product online education space is a lot of the big picture changes, like strategic changes we are making to an account, whether that's filling in gaps with retargeting, launching new initiatives, launching new campaigns. Big picture stuff that's happening is usually happening like once or twice a week. So this is that zoom out thinking. You might be launching new ads, launching new campaigns, testing new structures, testing new strategies inside the account, and you're really thinking about like the overall objective of the client and how you can move them forward. Now, the zoom in thinking, this is where you're getting into the details of like, are you making budget adjustments, bid adjustments? Are you turning on or off ad sets that have been running for a while and have performed well or haven't performed well? Here you might be scaling up budgets of things that are working to do some vertical scaling, or you might even be duplicating out ads that are working and launching them with different audiences so you can have some horizontal scale inside your account. Again, both of these different styles of changes are going to get you different results, and you need to be able to switch back and forth between the two. And when you're using this top-down thinking, you're taking the entire account into context, and you're starting at the very top level to make sure that you're hitting your campaign goals or not. And then you're really starting to get into the details with individual ad sets, individual ad groups, individual ads, individual audiences, different bidding strategies and campaign structures, and all of that little things. This also is really good because it tells you what you need to be focusing on next. So if you have an account that is hitting all of its goals, great, then you should mostly be focused focused on scaling because you've got things that are working and you want to be getting those out there. If you've got multiple ads that are working really well, you can be looking for new audiences and new ways that you can scale those up. Now, if you have campaigns that are dying out, then you can be focused on creative testing because you know that you've got creative fatigue coming up, and you can be looking at how can you iterate on the ads that you have to make them work better. You can be focused on getting new ads and new messaging out there and testing how that's working. And then on the other side, if you look at the account and you realize nothing's really working, then you really need to get focused on like heavy testing. So now you're coming back to like messaging testing, offer testing, landing page testing, and the really core components that are going to make something scale. The key thing here is that you have the ability to look at the big picture and then also zoom into the details about what's going on in the account without losing any of the context of the overall goal. And if you can switch back and forth between these two things very quickly because you train yourself, I promise you that is going to make you a much better media buyer than most people out there. Now, one more skill that is extremely important for media buyers is being able to understand the creative strategy that's happening inside an account and improve that with testing over time. I've actually got a video right here where I break down our creative strategy that has helped my clients make hundreds of thousands of dollars because we implement this inside of all of their accounts. So check out this video right here and I will see you over there.